Hare Krishna. So, welcome to our online class today. I actually was not sure if I will be home by 6:30. I thought I'll be giving this class from hospital, but somehow I've been able to come on time. So that's why I thought we'll do this online class today. In May, we will start with the in-person classes. So welcome all of you. This is online. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. Okay. So I'll start with the auspicious prayers and then we'll begin the class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Radha. So today we will discuss the appearance of Lord Varah Dev. So this is a very beautiful pastime in canto 3 of Shrimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13. So last time, of course, we did a special class on Holi. But before that, we were discussing the creation which was being described by Maitreya Rishi to Vidur Maharaj. So Vidurji, he asks further questions to Maitreya Rishi because Maitreya Rishi was present when Lord Krishna wound up his pastimes on this planet. And at that time, Uddhavji had asked various questions to Lord Krishna and Maitreya Rishi had heard all of them. So naturally, Vidur Maharaj is now interested to know what was discussed between Krishna and Uddhav. So that's why he is asking all these questions. So in text 13, it begins with Shri Shuka Uvacha. Nishamya vacham vadato muneh punyatamam nripa bhuya papracha kauravyo vasudev kathadrita. So after hearing the topics of creation from Maitreya Rishi, Vidur Maharaj inquired further on the topics of Supreme Personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear. So the Sanskrit word used here is Adrita, and Prabhupada has translated as one who so adores. So Adrita also means someone who is hankering, someone who is actually हाँ जवाहर जी, हम दूसरी लिंक पे हैं. मैंने श्रीमद् भागवतम सेशन में एक लिंक भेजा है, आप उस पर ज्वाइन कर लीजिए.
ओके,
हाँ, ये होली वाला लिंक है. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, sorry. Jawahar uncle had joined a different link. So I was trying to get him in. So anyway, so Adrita means one who adores. It also means one who is greatly hankering to hear after the topics of Krishna. So generally what happens is, we hear a class and then towards the end of the class we lose our interest and we don't want to hear it again. or now Narsim Chaturdashi is coming in a couple of weeks time. So sometimes devotees think, oh, it's the same pastime, the Lord will appear, the same drama will be there, and we tend to lose interest. But Vidur Maharaj is not like that. He is adrita, he is constantly hankering, he is adoring to hear about the personality of Godhead. That is the symptom of someone who is advanced in devotional service. So Vidur Maharaj then says, Vidur Uvach, Savay Swayam Bhuva Samrat, Priya Putra Swayam Bhuva, Pratilabhya Priyam Patnim, Kim Chakar Tato Mune. So he says that when we discuss the creation, it was described that from Brahma came various personalities, and one of them was Swayambhuva Manu. And he got married. He had a very loving wife, it is described here. So after getting married, what did he do? And Prabhupada explains that why is Vidur Maharaj interested in the married life of Swayambhuv Manu. He is not interested in gossip. He is interested because he knows that Swayambhuv Manu is a great devotee of the Lord, and he wants to understand how did he conduct himself in devotional service. So therefore he is interested, and this is explained in the next verse. Charitam tasya rajarsher adi rajasya sattama bruhi me shraddadhanasya vishwaksen ashrayo sav. So he says that King Swayambhuv Manu, he was a great devotee of the personality of Godhead, and therefore I want to hear his character and activities. Millions of people get married, and who is interested in what's going on in their married life? Nowadays, of course, people are interested in page 3 stories or tabloids, what's going on in someone's married life. But Vidur Maharaj is not at all interested in such nonsense. But he wants to know that Swayambhuv Manu, who is a devotee, how did he conduct himself? Because naturally it will bring him closer to the personality of Godhead. Shrutasya pumsam shuchirashramasya nanvanjasa suribhiriditurtha tattat gunanu shravanam mukunda padaravindam hridayeshu yesham. So it is described that Shrutasya pumsam shuchirashramasya, people who hear from a spiritual master with great labor and for a long time, they must also hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character and activities of pure devotees. Why? Because they always think within their hearts of the lotus feet of personality of Godhead, who awards his devotees liberation. So just 1 minute, I think Jawar uncle is still struggling. हाँ, हरे कृष्णा डॉक्टर साहब, आपको मिला लिंक?
मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ डॉक्टर साहब, ये क्योंकि मेरे पास ये आईफोन है ना, तो आईफोन से मैं ट्राई करता हूँ अभी.
ओके हाँ ओके. Okay, so here there is a very important concept that one should hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character of pure devotees. See, Krishna, he tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. He gives the instruction that abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. But what is that process of surrender? How do devotees actually surrender themselves? That practical lesson, how do we learn? That can only be learned by hearing about the character and activities of pure devotees. So only when we hear about particular devotee like Narad Muni, for example. Narad Muni, in his previous birth, he was the son of a maid servant, but he served the Bhagavat who had assembled. And he served them with their permission. He took the remnants of their food, and that's how he became a pure devotee. So we can understand a lot of principles from the pastime of Narad Muni, that one should serve pure devotees of the Lord, one should take the remnants of their food, and in this way we can make progress. Then we can also seek out pure devotees of the Lord, serve them, take remnants of their food. So when we see and hear practical examples of pure devotees, then we can advance in devotional service. And just as we should hear the pastimes of the Lord from his pure realized devotees, similarly we should hear the pastimes of the Lord's pure devotees from other pure devotees, because then it will have that strong medicinal effect. And by thinking, by hearing of the activities of these devotees, then the Lord becomes established in our heart. So that's why Vidur Maharaj is saying that I want to hear of the activities of Swayambhu Manu. आगे जाओ. Okay, great. Hare Krishna, welcome. So we are on third canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, and we are on text number 5. So after hearing the request of Vidur Maharaj that he wants to hear about the pastimes of Swayambhu Manu, Shukdev Goswami says, Iti brvanam viduram vinitam sahasra shirshnascharano padhanam prarishta roma bhagavat kathayam praniyamano murigabhyachashta. So Shukdev Goswami says that what was the quality of Vidur Maharaj? Vidur Maharaj was so meek and gentle that Krishna placed his lotus feet on the lap of Vidur. So when did this pastime happen? We know of this famous pastime that Krishna went as peace messenger, as Shanti Dut, to the palace of Duryodhan, to Hastinapur. And Duryodhan had invited him for a feast, thinking that he will impress Krishna with this feast. But Krishna ignores that and instead goes to the home of Vidur. Because Krishna, he does not need our food, he provides for everyone. So Duryodhan was thinking, by giving a good meal, I can ask him to become favorable and, participate on my side. So he had a diplomatic intention behind inviting Krishna. Whereas Vidur, he invited him out of pure love. So Krishna, of course, went to the house of Vidur, and there Vidur's wife, out of great love for Krishna, she wanted to give him bananas, but she was peeling banana, throwing away the banana fruit and giving the skin of banana to Krishna. And Krishna happily accepted that. Krishna happily accepts the berries which were tasted by Shabari, and he accepts it. The gopis of Vrindavan, they used to tell Krishna, why don't you show us how you dance? And then Krishna would dance, the gopis would clap, and they would give him some buttermilk. So Krishna is not hankering for food, he is hankering for love. So when he went to the house of Vidur, they treated him with great love. And at that time, after taking prasad, Krishna rested with his feet on the lap of Vidur. So Shukdev Goswami is remembering this. that how Krishna was so affectionate towards Vidur. And the sage Maitreya, when he heard Vidur's words, he became very affectionate towards him, and he attempted to speak. So Maitreya Rishi will now tell about the pastime of Swayambhuv Manu. So Maitreya Uvacha yada svabharyaya sardham jata swayambhuvo manu pranjali pranataschedam vedagarbham abhashata. So Swayambhuv Manu, he appeared along with his wife and went to his father Brahmaji with folded hands and paid him obeisances. And Swayambhu Manu tells his father Brahma that you are the father of all living entities and the source of their subsistence, because everyone is born of you. Please tell us how we may be able to render service unto you. Please give us your direction for execution of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next. So Swayambhu Manu, he approaches Brahmaji with his father, with his wife, and he says, "Oh my father," he first respectfully offers him obeisances, then glorifies him that you are maintaining all the living entities, and then submits a request. What can I do for you? How can I serve you? And Prabhupada nicely explains in the purports that this is the way of the relation between father and son. That the son approaches his father. His father is obviously a great devotee of the Lord. He is assisting the Lord with the creation process. And the son, he should assist the father in such a way. And if that is the process, then everything gets resolved nicely. So Brahmaji is very happy that Swayambhuv Manu has come to him and he's asking, how can I help you? Because Brahmaji had a very different experience with his previous sons, the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak and Sanandan, when they appeared from Brahmaji, Brahmaji asked them to procreate. He said, get married, have loads of children, so that all these souls, they can get a subtle and gross body, and the process of material creation can go on. But they said, we are not interested. And Brahmaji, on one hand, he appreciated that, yes, the goal of this material creation is to become detached and go back to Godhead. And that is what my sons are saying. But what about my service to the Lord? How will I populate this universe? So he becomes angry, and from that anger, Lord Shiva, Rudra appears. So now when Swayambhuv Manu is coming to him and he's saying, please tell us how we can serve you, how we can assist you. So he's very happy that at least, there is one son who is going to assist me. So he becomes very happy. So then Lord Brahma says, my dear son, O Lord of the world, I am very pleased with you, and I desire all blessings for both you and your wife. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with your heart for my instruction. So imagine the happiness of Brahmaji. My previous sons didn't listen to me, but now you are surrendering yourself fully unto me. So he says, Etavati atmajairvira karyaya pachatir guru shatya pramattar griheta sadaram gatamatsara. He says that your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limit of envy and who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. So Brahmaji is appreciating the surrender of Swayambhuv Manu. And Prabhupada gives another example, a contrasting example here of Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj's father, Hiranyakashipu, he told Prahlad Maharaj, don't chant the names of Narayan. And Prahlad Maharaj did not obey his father. But Prahlad Maharaj is glorified as a great devotee of the Lord. In fact, the Lord came and killed his father. So the concept here is not to blindly follow the orders of superior. One has to also consider whether following that order is favorable to my devotional service. And this is the principle given by Rupa Goswami, that what is favorable to devotional service we should accept, but what is unfavorable we should give away. So here Swayambhuv Manu, he is submitting himself to his father and he is glorious. On the other hand, Prahlad Maharaj is not submitting to his father and he is equally glorious. Why? Because both of them have the goal of serving the Supreme Lord. So therefore, this is an important concept for us to understand. One should not blindly follow the orders of anyone. One should see what is favorable to one's devotional service. So next verse, Sattvam asyam apatyani satrishanatmano gune utpadya shasa dharmena gamyagya purusham yaja. So he says that because you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Why does Brahmaji want Swayambhu Manu to procreate? Because that is how the material creation will expand. Okay? If there is no procreation, all the souls who are hankering for material bodies will not get a chance. So therefore he is saying, you go and procreate, but procreate children like yourself. Children who are obedient to their superiors, children who are advanced in spiritual life. One should not procreate like animals, just increase the numbers. But one should procreate so that one can deliver these children from the pangs of birth and death. The whole creation is designed for this purpose, to get out of the cycle of birth and death. So he's saying that you procreate, but beget children qualified like yourself. And then he says, rule the world in pursuance of principles of devotional service and thus worship the Lord by performance of yajna. So this is the guiding principle for grihastha life. Anyone who wants to be married or who is married, these are the three principles that Lord Brahma has given. First principle is have children who are devotees of the Lord, then rule the world in pursuance of devotional service. So because Swayambhu Manu is the king, he's been asked to rule the world. We may be having other professions, so we can participate in those professions in pursuance of devotional principles. And the last is thus worship the Lord by performance of yajna. In Kali Yuga, the yajna is Harinam Sankirtan. By chanting the names of the Lord, everything is accomplished. So three things: have children, perform your occupation with devotional principles, and perform Harinam Sankirtan. So that is a simple formula for Grihastha life. That is given by our great-great-grandfather Lord Brahma himself. So one should reflect upon this. And then he says Param Shushruषणं मह्यं स्यात् प्रजा रक्षया नृप Bhagwamste praja bhartur Rishikesho nutushyati. So he says that as a king, if you can give proper protection to the living beings, that will be the best service to me. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly Rishikesh, the master of the senses, will be very pleased with you. So there is an additional duty upon the king. We have grahastha lives and we have a small sphere of family and dependence. But for the king, the whole kingdom is his dependent. And the king should ensure that he gives proper protection to everyone in the kingdom. That will please the Supreme Lord. And when Brahmaji says everyone, he does not mean just the human beings. Even the animals, any living entity in the king's kingdom, they should be given proper shelter. Not like, nowadays government, they sanction slaughterhouses. Not like that. Everyone should get equal shelter from the king. We've discussed that incident of Parikshit Maharaj, where he challenged Kali because Kali wanted to harass the bull, the religion in the form of bull, and the cow was also very weak. So because he was trying to slaughter a bull and a cow, Parikshit Maharaj immediately stopped him. So as the ruler of a kingdom, the king should give added protection to the citizens. That will please the Supreme Lord. Text 13. Yesham natushto bhagavan yangalinge janardana tesham shrama hi aparthaya yadatma nadritasvayam. So Brahmaji says that Lord Krishna accepts the result of all sacrifices. And if he is not satisfied, then one's labor is all futile. So therefore, if in our activities we are not able to satisfy the Supreme Lord, then certainly that activity is useless. So this is the criteria for doing any activity. See, our class today is appearance of Lord Varah Dev. We'll discuss that pastime. But I thought this particular section was very interesting because it gives us some practical guiding principles, especially as all of us are in Grihastha ashram at this stage. So here he's saying that Lord Brahma is saying whatever activities we do, if the Lord is not happy with it, then what is the point? Okay. So even an activity may appear to be devotional, but if it is not pleasing to the Lord, what is the point? For example, someone may go to the temple, ring the bells loudly, and dance like a crazy man, but he is offending everyone, he is insulting everyone. What is the point of that? Will that please the Lord? Recently I read a statement by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that if you don't have proper conduct, better sit in your room and chant the names of the Lord. That will help you more than going out as a hypocrite. So one should be very careful. Whatever activities we are doing, are they pleasing to the Supreme Lord? One should be mindful of that. So Brahmaji gave all these instructions to Swayambhuv Manu. He said, beget children who are devotees, rule this planet, protect your subjects, whatever activities you do, they should please the Lord, chant Harinam, do Yajna, and in this way, everything will be auspicious for you. So Manu, he says, Adesheham Bhagavato Varteyami Vasudana Sthanam Tva Iha Nujanihi Prajanam Mama Chaprabho. He says a very beautiful word. He says, Adesham Bhagavato Varteya. Whatever you have given the order, I will fulfill it. So imagine how pleasing it must have been to Lord Brahma to hear that. Whatever you have said, I will do it. So perfect father, perfect son. And then he says, please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. Let me know, where I should stay and where the living entities will stay. Why? Because at that point, he says in the next verse that the earth, Mahi, he says, Yadoka sarva bhutana Mahi magna mahambhasi asya uddharane yatno deva devya vidhiyatam. So he says that yes, you ordered me to procreate all these living beings, but where will they stay? Where will I stay? Because at this point of time, the earth is merged in the great water. So please, you lift up the earth, bring it back to its position, and then, all the living entities can stay there. And it can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. So Prabhupada explains that when Maitreya Rishi is describing this pastime of Lord Varah Dev to Vidur Maharaj, he is actually combining pastimes from two different yugas, and therefore you will see later on how this pastime is folding, how this pastime is manifesting itself. So Maitreya Vach, Parma Meshthitwapam Madhye Tatha Sannam Avekshagam Katham Enam Samunneshya Iti Dadhya Dhiyachiram. So Brahmaji, he thought, how can I lift up Mother Earth who is submerged in the water? As we've discussed, the process of creation, the primary creation is done by the Lord himself. Brahmaji is only mixing up all the ingredients to create suitable bodies, and then living entities are inhabiting those bodies. So he is quite limited in his capacity. So Brahmaji is now thinking that yes, you are right, my son, Swayambhu Manu. You need a place, the living entity needs a place, but the earth is submerged, and how will I be able to lift it up? So he says, Srajato me kshitir varbhi plavyamana rasam gata athatra kim anushteyam asmabhi sarga yojite yasyaham hridayamasam sa isho vidadhat me. So he says, he's thinking that the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean whilst I was engaging in the process of creation. So the earth has sunk into the ocean. So what can I do? It will be very tricky for me, very difficult for me. So it is best that the Lord directs me. So he says, Sa Isha Vidadhatu me, that may the Supreme Lord direct me. Again, a very important principle. Sometimes we may be faced with an endeavor which is beyond our capacity. Okay, there might be situations where we have to act, we have to get a situation resolved, but the situation is so complex that it's beyond our abilities. At that time, this is the principle. Sa Isha Vidadhatu me. That time you pray to the Supreme Lord that, oh my Lord, will you please direct me? Just as Arjun had a very difficult situation. He had to face all his relatives and friends in the battle of Kurukshetra. And he's thinking, what can I do? So he also takes guidance from the Lord Shri Krishna. And then Krishna guides him. Many a times devotees, they discuss with me that, Prabhuji, I am in this very difficult situation. What can I do? Now, based upon my intelligence and experience, I suggest them something. But I am conditioned by the material modes of nature. My solutions will be conditioned. It would be like a blind man leading another blind man. The best solution is we pray to the Lord, and the Lord will give directions. The Lord will direct you from within and without, and He will take you across that particular situation you are in. We have to trust in the Lord's mercy. We pray to the Lord, and the Lord will manifest that. And I've seen that in my own life and in the life of many of my devotee friends and other people. Whenever they are in difficulty, they don't know what to do, they have prayed to the Lord, and the Lord has created circumstances, the Lord has guided them, and they have come out from that situation with more faith in the Supreme Lord, with more conviction in devotional service. So, do you want some examples, or shall we move on? Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah, we can move on, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. So, so Brahmaji says, okay, let the Lord direct us. Iti abhidhyayato nasa vivarat sasanaga varāhatoko niragad angushtha parimanaka. So whilst Brahmaji was thinking like this, the Lord, He did not take much time to resolve the situation. From Brahmaji's nostrils, Varāhataka, a minute form of a boar, came out. And what was the size? Angushtha, upper part of the thumb. So the upper half of the thumb. Parimanaka. So that boar who came out of the nose was only the size of the upper part of the thumb. Why did the Lord come out as a boar? Because the Mother Earth is in the ocean. So He has to enter the ocean and bring it out. And that is something a boar does easily. So therefore, the Lord came in the form of Varaha. Tasya vipashya takhastha kshanena kila bharata gajamatra pravavriddhe tadbhutam abhutamahat. And whilst Lord Brahma was wondering that, what has come out of my nostril, suddenly the Varah Dev, he became very gigantic, just like an elephant. And then he grew even more and covered the entire sky. Imagine the shock of Brahmaji. Imagine, you sneeze something comes out of your nose, and it becomes as big as a cloud covering the sky. You'll be wondering, what happened. Brahmaji, he is confused, what has come out of my nose. Marichi pramukhe vipre kumare manuna saha drishtva tad saukaram rupam tarkayamas chitradha. And all the sons of Brahma, like Marichi, and all the Brahmanas, the 4 Kumaras, Swayambhuv Manu, they were all there. They saw this gigantic form of the boar, Sukara Rupa. And they, Tarkayam Asachitrada, they started debating amongst themselves that, who is this personality who has appeared from Lord Brahma? Kim etad sukarapyajam sattvam divyam avasthitam aho batascharya idam nasaya me vinisritam. Lord Brahmaji is saying, who is this extraordinary entity in the form of a boar, in the pretense of a boar? It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose. Drishto angushta shiro matra shanad ganda shilasana apisvid bhagavanesha yagyo me khedayam mana. First of all, this boar was no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and now he is as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Apisvid Bhagavanesha Yagya me khedayam mana. Apisvid Bhagavan. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because I prayed to the Lord, so therefore who will appear but the Lord? I'll tell you one very beautiful pastime in this regard. There was once, and this pastime is not very ancient. It has happened in maybe 150 years ago. There was a lady who was getting married, and this lady was a very devout worshipper of Lord Ramchandra. She used to worship, she was a devotee of Lord Ram. So she was getting married, and previously the groom would come from another village, get married, and then take the bride back to the village. So when the marriage procession was going back to the groom's village, on the way there was a forest, and the dacoits, they attacked the marriage procession. And they killed everyone and took this woman, took this devotee away. So the king of the dacoits, he was seated on a horse, and he put this devotee on his horse, and he was riding away along with all the other dacoits. So there is a beautiful bhajan, there is a beautiful song this devotee sings, where she is praying that, "Oh my Lord, please help me." So the dacoit is laughing. He's thinking, the lady uses the word nath. So he's thinking the lady is thinking of her husband to help her. So he laughs and he says, whom are you asking for help? I've already killed your husband. Well, she is not bothered with what the dacoit is saying. She prays to the Lord. And then these two king's soldiers, they appear, and they chase these dacoits, and they shoot arrows and kill all the dacoit with the leader. So they rescue this lady, and this devotee falls at the feet of these two soldiers, and she says that, "Oh my dear Lord Ram and Lakshman, thank you for saving me." So the soldiers say that, no, we are not Ram and Lakshman, we are the king's soldiers. We saw you and therefore we have come to protect you. So the lady says that even in this material world, if I call for my son, only my son will respond. If I call for my mother, only my mother will respond. And I was calling only for you, for Ram and Lakshmanji. So why will the king's soldiers respond? So then they both come to their original form as Ram and Lakshman, and they said, yes, we are Ram and Lakshman, and we've come here in response to your prayers. So Brahmaji, he prayed to Lord Vishnu to help him out of the situation. So who else but Vishnu will appear? Okay, that faith should be there. And this is one of our problems, or this is the biggest problem that we have. We don't have that faith that the Lord will help. Our situation is like Draupadi. Draupadi, when she was being disrobed, she first went to her husband. "Oh, my husband will help. The elderly people in the family will help. The king will help." We also think similarly. We land up in a situation, we start asking help from family, friends, contacts, police, army, bank balance. We look at all these things. But very rarely Do we take the position of asking the Supreme Lord to our rescue? And when Draupadi realized, no one else is coming to my help, at that time she gave up reliance even on her own strength. She was holding her sari with her teeth, and she gave that up, and she lifted her hands and she called out the name of Krishna. So then Krishna appeared and saved her. So we can avoid that trouble. We can think of Krishna right in the beginning and develop that relation with the Lord. That relationship we don't have. We have relationship with our family members, with our colleagues, and therefore when we feel distressed, we immediately think of them. But when it comes to the Supreme Lord, that relationship is not there. We don't have that attraction for the Lord. We don't have love for the Lord. We don't have faith that the picture or the deity I'm worshipping is the Lord Himself, that the holy name is the Lord Himself. Therefore, we fall into so many inauspicious circumstances. Here, Brahmaji is quite clear. He's saying, I prayed to the Lord, so this must be the Lord who has appeared. Okay, so text 23. Iti mimam satastasya brahmana sahasunubhi bhagavan yagya purusho jagar jagendra sannibhi. So whilst Brahma was thinking like this, the Lord roared tumultuously like a great mountain. Brahmanam harshayamasa haristamscha dvajottaman swagarjitena kakubha pratisvanat yata vibhu. So when the Lord roared, Lord Brahma was convinced that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he became enlivened. And again, all the Brahmanas who were there, headed by Marichi Rishi, they all became very happy with that roar, which echoed in all directions. Nishamyate gargharitam swakheda shayishnumaya mayasukarasya janastapasatya nivasinaste tribhir pavitrer munayo grinansma. So, it is described who witnessed the incarnation of Varah Dev. So Brahmaji, all the sages, Manu, and also the residents of Jana, Tapa and Satyalok, they all heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Buddha. So of the 14 planetary systems, the top 3 are Janalok, Tapalok and Satyalok. The residents there are very pure souls who are engrossed in meditation and worship of the Supreme Lord. So they could also hear the auspicious roar of the Supreme Lord, and they chanted various mantras from the 3 Vedas. Tesham satam vedavitan murtir brahma vatharyatma gunanuvadam vinadya bhuyo vibudhodayaya gajendra lila chalam avivesha. So just like an elephant, Lord Varah Dev entered into the water after roaring again in response to the Vedic prayers. And the Lord, of course, he is the object of all Vedic prayers, so he could understand the sages were praying for the Lord's mercy. And then what did he do? Once he jumped into the ocean, Utshiptavala Khachara Kathora Shata Vidunvan Khararoma Shatvak Khurahata Braha Sitadamshka Iksha Jyotir Babhase Bhagavan Mahitra. So before entering into the water, the Lord Varah Dev, he flew in the sky, he was slashing his tails, and his hard hairs were quivering. His glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves, and glittering white tusks. Many a times people of other religions say that, oh, you worship pigs. So obviously, they don't have any understanding of the Lord or the forms of the Lord. The Lord can appear as a fish, as a tortoise, as a pig, as a half man, half lion, as a human being. The Lord is not limited in how he can appear. If we impose limitations on the Lord, then he is not God. Anyone who is limited cannot be God. So why can God not come as a pig? But when he comes in the form of a boar as a Varah Dev, he is not like any material boar that you see on the streets. His description is given here. He's got beautiful white tusks, his hairs are quivering, he can, shatter the clouds by the movement of his tails. That's this potency of the Lord. That's how we can identify that this is the Supreme Lord. We don't worship any pig on the street. That is the wrong understanding some people have about Lord's incarnations. We worship the Lord who has appeared in the form of Varah Dev. So the Lord has appeared like this, and then what does he do? Ghanena prithavya padavim vijigran. By the sense of his smell, he locates Mother Earth. And Krodapadesha swam advaranga. And assuming the body of a crowd or Varah Dev, he enters into that water. Karala damshtvopi a karala drigabhyam. He's got these fearful tusks, and udviksha vipran grinto avishatkam, and glancing upon all the devotees of Janalok, Tapalok and Satyalok, he enters into the water of the ocean. Savajrakutanga nipata vega vishina kukshi stanayan udannan utsrishta dirghor mibhujeri vartash chukrosha yaggeshwara pahimeti. So, diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and the two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of sacrifices, please do not cut me in two, kindly give me protection. So a very beautiful scene. You can imagine the Lord, he's so huge, and he dives into the ocean, and the ocean splits into two. Recently, someone sent me a clip of a movie called La Palma. I believe it's on Netflix, where the whole mountain slides into the ocean and it creates a huge tsunami wave. So when I was reading this, I recalled that this is a perfect analogy. The Lord dives into the ocean, and the ocean splits into two, as if raising his arms and saying, please do not cut me into two and give me protection. So what did the Lord do? He penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. And there he saw Mother Earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. How did he lift the earth? He took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water, and thus he appeared very splendid. So, one of the consorts of the Lord is Mother Earth, and it is described that in this pastime, the Lord establishes that relationship by touching Mother Earth. So often if you go to South India, you will see that Lord Narayan is flanked by Shri Devi and Bhudevi, Mother Lakshmi and Mother Earth. And when I asked the priest that, when did the Lord marry Mother Earth, then he quoted this particular pastime. In fact, from this pastime, Narkasur was born. And Narkasur, a child of the Lord, but he started mixing with demons. And then he kidnapped the 16,000 queens, whom later on Krishna killed, Narkasur, and then married all these princesses. So that is the pastime of Lord Varah Dev with Mother Earth. So the Lord appeared very splendid. And at that time, he killed the demon Hiranyaksh, who tried to fight with the Lord. So Hiranyaksh, he wanted to have a fight with the Lord. Now, how did Hiranyaksh appear? Maitreya Rishi will describe in the later chapters, because over here he's mentioned it only briefly. So Vidur Maharaj does not want to let go of this beautiful pastime. So in the next chapter he will ask, we'll discuss that later, maybe in the next session, how Hiranyaksh appeared. But at that time Hiranyaksh was moving in the ocean and he wanted to fight. So he challenged the Lord, and the Lord killed him easily. Jaghana urundhanamasya vikramam salilayebham mrigaradivam tadraktapankakitagandathundo yatha gajendro jagatim vibindan. And then just the Lord killed Hiranyak, just as a lion kills an elephant. And when the Lord killed Hiranyaksh, his cheeks and tongue became smeared with the blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging in the purple earth. And then the Lord, playing like an elephant, he suspended Mother Earth on the edge of his curved white tusk. He assumed a bluish complexion like that of the Tamal tree. And the sages, headed by Brahma, were now, perfectly convinced that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and offered respectful obeisances unto the Lord. So now the sages will offer prayer to the Supreme Lord. So in Bhagavatam, one of the important sections are the prayers offered by various devotees to the Supreme Lord, like Kunti Maharani prayers to Lord Krishna, Lord Bhishma Dev offers prayers, Lord Brahmaji offered prayers to the Lord. We've read that in second canto. And over here, the rishis, the sages of Janalok, Tapalok, Satyalok, they will offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. So it's very nice to read these prayers. You can understand the mood of the devotees. Like we discussed, one of the important points we have to do is understand the nature of devotees. So we can understand that from these prayers. So whenever I read these prayers, I try to understand the prayer, how they are glorifying the Lord, and also, what is the consciousness of these devotees themselves. So with great respect, the sages are saying, O unconquerable enjoyer of all sacrifices, all glories and all victories unto you. You are moving in your form of the personified Vedas, and in the hair holes of your body, the oceans are submerged. For lifting the earth, you have assumed the form of a boar. Just try to understand, this is happening right in the beginning of creation. And at that time, Lord Brahma had just revealed the Vedas for mankind. And the Vedas, they principally deal with yajnas, sacrifices. So therefore, when you read these prayers, you will find that there is a heavy emphasis on sacrifices and how the sages, how the devotees, they see Lord Vishnu as personification of the Vedas, as the master of all sacrifices. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita as well, that I am the master, I am the purpose, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. In 5th chapter, last verse, Krishna says that Bhogeshwari, what's that verse? Sorry, the verse, Bhuktaram yag tapasam sarvalok maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti vrichati. Bhuktaram yag tapasam. I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So that theme you will find in these prayers. A heavy emphasis on yajna and Lord Varah Dev to be the enjoyer of these yajnas. So they say that your form is worshipable by performances of sacrifices, but souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. Generally boars are considered inauspicious and dirty, and sacrifices are meant to be supremely pure and auspicious. But here they are saying that, oh my Lord, even though you have appeared as Varah Dev, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifices. But there are some miscreants who will not be able to understand this. All the Vedic hymns are in the touch of your skin. In your bodily hair is the kusha grass. In your eyes is ghee. And in your 4 legs are the 4 kind of fruitive activities. So you are the personification of sacrifices. And they continue, your tongue is a plate of sacrifice, your nostril, your belly, your holes of the ears, your mouth, your throat, and whatever you chew, they are various parts of the sacrifices. So this is how they glorify Varah Dev as supremely pure, supremely auspicious, as Yajna himself. And then, so they continue with that how the Lord's various parts of the body, they represent various parts of the sacrificial process. So for example, your neck is the place for 3 desires, your tusks are the result of initiation, your tongue is the prior activity of initiation, and so on and so forth. So they keep on describing that in the next verse as well. And then they say that you are worshipable by prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure mind who is free from all visible and invisible material contamination. Okay. So in Bhagavatam, as we progressively read various cantos, our understanding of the Supreme Lord will become finer and purer as we go along. So if you read and meditate on Lord Varah Dev, you will understand that the Lord, even though in the form of Varaha, is supremely pure. He is as pure as a yajna, as a sacrifice. He is the master of all sacrifice. Everything comes from his spiritual form. So when we realize that, we become established in the conception that no matter in what form the Lord appears, he is beyond the modes of nature. He is supremely pure. And therefore, when we come to the 10th canto and read about Krishna's pastimes, that concept will act as the foundational basis. Otherwise, many people, they ask the question, why did Krishna steal butter? Why did he steal the clothes of gopis? Why was he dancing with all the gopis? So you're still thinking of Krishna as an ordinary living being. So therefore you need to go back, read the first canto, the second canto, the process of creation, read the third canto, the incarnation of Varah Dev, and at least become fixed in the understanding that the Lord is not one of us. If he may come in the form of a boar, and yet he is supremely pure. He is beyond the modes. So this is what the sages are emphasizing. So they continue with their prayers, and in text, in text 42, they say, Samasthapayenam jagatam satashtusham lokaya patnim asimataram pita vidhema chasya namasa sahatvaya yasyam swatejognim ivaranavadha. So here they say, Patnim asi mataram pita. So here they say this earth is your wife, your patni, and you are our supreme father. So here it is established how Mother Earth became the wife of the Lord, and why we call earth as mother. Okay, because the Lord is our father, he is married to earth, and therefore earth becomes our mother. And she takes care of us just like a mother. So then they say that by delivering earth from the water, who else could have done it? But it is not very wonderful for you, because you have performed this whole creation. So for you to lift up earth from the water is not a big deal. Okay, someone who has created earth, ocean, all the planetary systems, all the ingredients of the creation, if he lifts a small planet from the ocean, they say it's not a big deal, because this is just part of your wonderful cosmic manifestation. So they say that we are inhabitants of the most pious planet, Janalok, Tapalok and Satyalok, and yet the drops of water which have been sprinkled from your shoulder hairs by the shaking of your body, they have touched us and we have become purified. Like a boar, he shakes his shoulders and all the water sprinkles. I don't know if you've seen that. I've seen that on many occasions. And all the water is spread in all directions. So they are saying we are purified by that water which you have thrown in all directions. And then they say that please continue to bestow your mercy upon all of us conditioned souls. Okay. Samastam Bhagavan Videhi Sham. Sham means good fortune. So in this way they pray to the Supreme Lord. And then Maitreya, he says, Iti upasthiyamana asau munibhir brahmavadibi salile swakhura akrante upadhat avitavnim. So the Lord, after being worshipped by all the sages, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water, on the proper position. So in this way, the Lord in the form of Varah Dev raised the earth from within the water, put it afloat on the water, and then he went back to his own abode. And the benediction is given of hearing this pastime in text 48. Ya evametam harimed sohare katham subhatram kathaniyamaina shrinvita bhaktya shravayeta yoshatim janardanosya shuridi prasidati. So one who hears this pastime of the Lord and describes this pastime, the Lord in the heart becomes very pleased. That same Varah Dev is residing in our heart. So when you hear this pastime, when you recite this pastime, the Lord becomes very pleased. And what happens when the Lord is pleased? Nothing remains unachieved. Swayambhu Manu wanted a place to live along with the living entities. Brahmaji said, oh, I cannot lift the earth. But by pleasing the Lord, just by praying to the Lord fulfilled all their desires. So when something is unachievable, it easily becomes achievable when the Lord is pleased. Therefore, many a times it is sad to see that devotees don't have faith on the Lord. Have faith on the Lord. The Lord will test you. The Lord will, he will shake you properly to see whether you have that faith. But a pure devotee is not bothered. Prahlad Maharaj was never disturbed. He was never afraid when the demons were torturing him. He remained fixed in his devotional service, in his remembrance of the Lord. So devotee is not bothered. He thinks, okay, these circumstances are going, but the Lord is there with me. So he continues with his devotional service, and then nothing remains unachieved. Everything ends well. And by transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. Prahlad Maharaj was thinking this torture which is happening is not even torture, it's just insignificant. They are just acting by the modes of nature. I'll continue to think of Narayan within my heart. And seeing that devotional attitude, the Lord who is seated in everyone's heart elevates that devotee to the highest perfectional stage. So it is said here in text 50, Ko naam loke purusharth sarvit pura kathanam bhagavat katha sudham apiya karnanjalibhir bhavapaham aho virajet. Sorry, where's the skin? Aho virajeta vina naretaram. So it is said, only someone who is not a human being can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life. Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the Lord's pastimes, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs? So this is why we read Shrimad Bhagavatam. Just by reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, at least for that period of time, we are thinking of the Lord, we are associating with the Lord, we are away from the influence of modes of nature. And by constantly Nityam Bhagavata Seva, by constantly serving the Lord, by reading Shrimad Bhagavatam, then the Lord becomes firmly established in our heart. So this is the beautiful pastime of Swayambhu Manu approaching Lord Brahma and asking Lord Brahma that, please help me serve you. So Brahma becomes very pleased. He says, yes, go and procreate. So then Swayambhu Manu says, but where is the planet Earth on which we can stay and perform my service? So then Varah Dev comes and re-establishes Mother Earth. Many devotees they are not aware of the background, why Varah Dev appeared. But if you read Shrimad Bhagavatam, now you know that Varah Dev appeared due to the prayers of Lord Brahma. That was in the context of allowing Swayambhu Manu to continue with his service to the Lord. Okay. So next time we will discuss how Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu appeared in the first place. So any questions or any comments on this section?
Prabhuji.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I never knew about Mother Earth, in that way. So thank you for enlightening us on that one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Actually, if you go to South India, you will always see Lord Narayan. He is flanked by Shri Devi and Bhudevi. And when I asked the devotees there, then they gave me this explanation. Then when I actually read Shrimad Bhagavatam in this section, it is described very nicely. Yes. Yes, Dr. Saab, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
Please, Prabhuji, explain a little bit about various sacrifices.
So, in the process of creation, sacrifices, yajna, they are the currency to advance in spiritual and material life. How are yajnas the currency? So the Lord, he empowers Brahma to create. So Brahmaji is in charge of the creation, but the creation has various material elements like water, sun, moon, wind, Mother Earth, various herbs, trees. So they all have a presiding deity. Okay, like Varun Dev, Agni Dev, Surya Dev, Chandra Dev. And we, the living entities, we are using their resources to maintain ourselves, both materially and spiritually. So for me to wake up, to have energy, I need food, water, earth, I need the sun, moon, air. So I'm using all of that. So what the Lord does is he introduces the concept of yajna, that you are taking from these higher living entities, you are using the resources, so you have to also repay back. And that repayment is in the form of yajna. So we do yajna to please Indra, to please various devata, to please various pitra, to please guru. सबके लिए एक एक यज्ञ है. So they give us, and then we please them by performing yajna. So that is the process in which creation happens. We've discussed that in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Okay. Now, what people forget is that these demigods who are in charge of various aspects of creation, they are like ministers in the court of a king, and the king is Lord Vishnu. So ultimately, you may be pleasing each minister, that is fine, but if you please the king himself, then you don't need to please everyone individually. Also, when you are paying your taxes to a particular department, when you pay your water bill or council bill, ultimately it's going to the king. So yajnas are meant ultimately to please the Supreme Lord. But the Lord established this process of yajna so that a nice equilibrium can be maintained in this creation. Otherwise, what has happened nowadays is people are not grateful. So they just exploit. They want to exploit oil, they want to exploit minerals, they want to exploit air. That is no concept of gratitude. So everything's getting polluted, the natural imbalance is going away. But when you do yajna, you realize that no, these are personalities I should be grateful for. So next time you enter into a river, you will fold your hands, you will take nice care of the river. Otherwise, you will pump all waste into that river.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. कविता माता जी, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
मुझे वही बोलना था कि I have seen Bhudevi and Sridevi as a Lord's wife, and I had a question. When did the Mother Earth got married? But today I got the answer. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Great. Okay, so that is one good outcome of this class today, that we now have a better understanding of the Lord's family. Okay. ऑलराइट, मधु माता जी आप कुछ कह रहे हैं?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
हरे कृष्ण।
धन्यवाद। आपकी क्लास, मतलब मैं तो कभी से दीवानी आपकी क्लास की, आपकी क्लास का कोई वो ही नहीं है। मतलब इतना इजीली क्लास जैसा नहीं होता, मतलब बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आती है चीजें। नॉर्मली फिलॉसफी तो मेरे बिल्कुल टॉप ऑफ से निकल जाती है, पर आपकी क्लास में मुझे समझ में आता है, इसलिए मेरे को आपकी क्लास में आना अच्छा लगता है। आपने आज जो क्लास में बोला, मुझे उसमें एक पॉइंट अच्छा लगा, मतलब मुझे समझ में आया कि हमें हर बात मानना भी जरूरी नहीं है। उसको मानने से पहले हमें ये चेक करना चाहिए कि वो बात मानने के लिए है या नहीं है, और उसके पीछे हमारे को भगवान की सेवा या भगवान का, मतलब उसमें भगवान की सेवा होनी चाहिए, कुछ ऐसा होना चाहिए। जैसे कि आपने बताया कि प्रहलाद महाराज ने अपने पिता की बात नहीं मानी, और कुमारुस ने भी नहीं मानी, लेकिन स्वयंभू मनु ने मानी। तो उससे मुझे समझ में आया कि हर बात हर कोई बोले, मतलब मेरे को वर्ड नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि क्या बोलना है। मतलब हर बात मानने के लिए भी नहीं होती है। उसको पहले हमें ये देख लेना चाहिए कि वो मानने लायक है, उसमें भगवान का कोई सेवा है या कुछ सत्य है, ऐसा तब मानना चाहिए, ऐसा मैंने समझा। तो मैं ये भी चाह रही हूँ कि मैं सही समझ रही हूँ, मैं आपसे ये भी पूछना चाह रही हूँ।
एकदम परफेक्ट। आप कभी तुलसीदास रामचरितमानस पढ़ेंगे तो उसमें तुलसीदास जी ने पहले ही बता दिया है कि सद व्यक्ति कौन है और असद कौन है। तो स्टार्टिंग में क्यों बता दिया है? क्योंकि हमें लाइफ में सभी प्रकार के लोग मिलेंगे, सभी प्रकार की बातें सुनने मिलेंगी, लेकिन हमें इतनी विवेक बुद्धि होनी चाहिए, इतना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होना चाहिए कि हमारे हित में क्या है। तो हमारे हित में अगर कोई छोटा बच्चा या कोई अशुद्ध व्यक्ति है वो भी कोई अच्छी बात कहे, जैसे कभी कभी हम चैंटिंग करते हैं, सो जाते हैं चैंटिंग करते वक्त, तो कोई नया व्यक्ति मंदिर में आया, वो बोलेगा अरे सो रहे हो, तो उसने एक बहुत अच्छी बात हमसे कही है, तो वो हमें एक्सेप्ट करनी चाहिए। और कभी कभी कोई बड़े व्यक्ति हैं, कई दिनों से मंदिर आ रहे हैं, और वो आपसे कहें कि अरे सब में क्या रखा है, चलो आनंद करते हैं, भोग करते हैं, तो उसकी बात हमें इग्नोर करनी चाहिए। ठीक है, तो जो हमें भक्ति में सहायता करे वही बातें माननी चाहिए, भले ही वो बात कोई भी कहे। कविता माता जी।
तो मैंने सही समझा।
हाँ एकदम।
थैंक यू प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
प्रभु जी, हाँ मुझे मधु माता जी के बात से क्वेश्चन आया कि जैसे जो पहले चतुष कुमार थे उन्होंने ब्रह्मा जी की बात मानने से इनकार किया, क्योंकि हमें इस दुनिया में आके लाइफ एंड डेथ के चक्कर में नहीं पड़ना है। तो इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर टू बी विद लॉर्ड इन हिज हार्ट। तो क्योंकि वो बहुत बुद्धिमान है, उन्होंने सुना नहीं, और उनका जो निर्णय था वो इट वाज क्वाइट गुड। तो मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आया कि स्वयंभू मनु ने क्यों एक्सेप्ट किया, और अगर एक्सेप्ट किया है तो वो भी भगवान की सेवा है, और फिर अगर है तो फिर बाद में उन्होंने जो प्रोजेनी की जिससे हम आए और हम यहाँ पे अटक गए, तो आई मीन इट इज नॉट गुड, इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम देयर।
करेक्ट।
तो क्या उनको नहीं माननी चाहिए?
हाँ, so this is a very important concept to understand. Very beautiful question. That 4 Kumaras, they are sons of Brahma. They refuse Brahma's orders to procreate, and yet they are considered great devotees of the Lord. Swayambhu Manu is following the order of Brahma and he is procreating, and he is also considered a great devotee of the Lord. The point here is not the activity. The point here is their devotional mood. उनका भाव क्या है? Okay. So Sanat Kumar, the 4 Kumaras, they are detached from worldly life. They directly want to serve the Lord as brahmacharis. So for them, getting married and procreating would have been an obstacle. And for them to refuse the Lord, to refuse Lord Brahma was okay. For Swayambhu Manu, he is married, he is a grahastha, and now he is asking his father what to do. So father is saying, rule, have children, which are the duties within grahastha ashram. So that is favorable for his approach to the Lord. So अपनी परिस्थिति क्या है उस हिसाब से हमें भक्ति का मार्ग चुनना चाहिए. So your situation may be such that we all of us are in grahastha ashram. So taking care of the family, engaging them in Krishna consciousness, serving the Lord by chanting His name, these are prescribed for us. So that will please the Lord. And for some other people, staying away from family life may be favorable. So in either case, it is glorious. So Lord Brahma, both his set of sons, the 4 Kumaras and Swayambhu Manu, they were both perfect in their approach. Like that. And Brahmaji was also correct. Brahmaji wants to do his service of procreation. So 4 Kumaras are not helping him, so he becomes angry. And Swayambhu Manu is helping him, so he becomes happy with that. So he's also correct. So all 3 sets here are perfectly situated in their own respective places. Is that making sense?
जब ब्रह्मा जी की ये इच्छा थी, यस प्रभु जी, मुझे अभी पीछे थोड़ा सोचा तो ये नहीं याद आ रहा है कि जब ब्रह्मा जी का जन्म होता है तो उनकी इच्छा रहती है कि वो सृष्टि निर्माण करे या भगवान उनको बोलते हैं.
So Brahmaji does not know what is his duty. Second canto में हमने discuss किया था, when he appears on the top of lotus flower, he does not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. So he prays to the unknown creator and he hears the word tapa, do austerities. Then the Lord appears and then the Lord gives him an order that this is your service.
मतलब भगवान की इच्छा से ही सृष्टि की निर्माण कार्य आगे.
Correct.
धन्यवाद. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll stop here. I would request all of you to read the prayers of the rishis, of the sages to Lord Varah Dev. Very nice, beautiful prayers. Because nowhere else you will find such prayers in relation to seeing the Lord as Yajna. Okay. So in this section, very unique prayers. Also, just stop this.